So do you want to feed your child's imagination? Get them off the screens and start using the creative part of their brains? Check out bblocks.com. That's BEBLOX.com. They're building blocks. They're STEM building toys with 8 fun colors. They have accessories. They make the perfect gift for all occasions. So maybe you don't have little ones, but you're going to a birthday party and you need that perfect gift. This is it. It's bblocks.com, BEBLOX.com. It's great for ages 4 to 12 for both boys and girls. And again, you can get it at bblocks.com, BEBLOX.com, or on Amazon. This is the gift that's going to stimulate their brain. Check out bblocks.com.
This is WWE superstar Drew McIntyre, and you're listening to the WWE Podcast.
The champ is the one that everybody wants, me. Lynch is going to WrestleMania. Claymore! Austin 316 says I just whipped your ass. This is my iron. You're going to acknowledge me.
What's going on, everybody, guys and girls? Welcome back to another edition of the SmackDown Review right here on the WWE Podcast. As always, I'm one of the hosts of the show, Michael Ritter. You can find me on Twitter, Michael5Ritter, and also one of the hosts of the Football Function Podcast, available on all of your podcasting platforms, including on Patreon. If you are tired of those pesky ads, joining me on this episode, per usual, my humble co-host, John Carrasco. You can find him on Twitter at Big Speaker, BIGG_speaker. John, how we doing on this Friday evening?
Man, I'm not going to lie. I'm freaking exhausted, kind of feeling like the drain from work and everything like that. But other than that, man, I mean, we're here ready to break down this. It seems like a pretty eventful episode of SmackDown. So, yeah, definitely ready to see what comes, I guess you could say.
See, I look at it like a Golden Corral plate.
Okay.
This episode of SmackDown, whereas because we're watching it live, it's 7:45 Central Standard Time right now, so we're about to be a little bit behind and break down what we've already saw, catch up a little bit, and then we'll be able to close out the show live, just the way that we typically do this here lately. But the reason I'm comparing this to a Golden Corral plate is because, number one, I feel like we already had our first serving. We had a gauntlet match. I went through there. I got my spaghetti. I got my mashed potatoes. I got my chicken or whatever. Whatever it is that you get from the buffet. And I feel, that's pretty good. But we're looking at what we got in store. Obviously, some more bloodline drama. We got the Grayson Waller effect still going to come here later in the show. And obviously some wrestling in between. So when you look at all that's still to come, that's your second trip. What did you not fit on your plate that first trip? For whatever reason, the foods didn't go that great together. You just didn't have enough room on your plate. For whatever reason, you got to make that second hot food trip. And then there's always still a little bit left over in the dessert section. At least that's the way I handle it. I go at least 2 rounds in the hot food, and then I hit up those desserts. So that's kind of how this SmackDown is, I feel like. There's plenty to digest.
Right there. Yeah. Like it.
Plenty to digest. But did you watch Monday Night Raw this past week?
I just watched the first segment to kind of figure out what was going on with the belt and everything like that. So, I mean, didn't get too much into it, but yeah.
So what are your thoughts on that whole championship situation?
Honestly, I mean, it's a whole rebrand, I guess I can say. It definitely feels like it's like a new year. I guess you could say everything's kind of feeling like new. It's getting some new faces and everything like that. So definitely not mad at it, but then again, I mean, it feels like we're kind of just leaving something behind as well. Especially seeing Roman still having the
go ahead.
The 3 belts and everything like that. So I mean, it's kind of all there, I guess you could say. But still, I mean, seeing the new belts is definitely taking us into now what's to come from this whole new look and everything like that. So
that's the weird thing, man. Is I'm just why did you have to make them look like the ones that you just made for the men?
Yeah.
I understand you got a white strap on them. That's really the only difference. And they're nice belts. That's the thing. I'm not saying that the belts don't look nice. I just hate that they are so synonymous with a specific championship that already exists. You had an opportunity to venture out with these women's championships. Just make them a little bit different. You could still throw that fat WWE logo right there in the middle. Just make them look a little bit different. But, I mean, I do like the overall look. It's just really? Are you really going to do that? And then, obviously, the elephant in the room is the lineage. You know, the lineage of the SmackDown Women's Championship and the Raw Women's Championship. Where does that go with these new belts? Me personally, retire them.
Okay.
Just don't even worry about it. You got 2 new belts here. Why muddy up the waters? It was only a few years that we had those belts, and when you look at it, really just a handful of years. I don't really feel like it's necessary to complicate things. You got these new belts. You plan on having these belts for the foreseeable future, so why not just roll with it like that? And I will say, I didn't get the names maybe spot on, but I did say something a few weeks back of them rebranding these belts of something similar with, the Women's World Championship and things like that. So, I'm not the only person that said that, but just, makes me feel like not quite such a noob in this business. But either way, I'm a fan, I guess, of the belts' looks. They're going to grow on me, but I don't know. I just wish they would have been, separated from the belt that Roman Reigns has and obviously the World Heavyweight Championship.
Gotcha. So, of the new belts, do you think something's going to happen with the tag teams?
Yes, we're gonna get a new look. I feel like the women and the men. We saw it on last week with I can't even remember their tag team name. Do they have a tag team name, or is it just Isla Dawn and Alba Fire? Like, is that their team name? Is just their names respectively? Okay, that's cool. They have a unification match with Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler, so we're going to get those championships eventually become one. I do expect that we're going to get the same thing with the men's belts eventually, because they're just right now letting them rock that red and blue. Why not,
Yeah. So,
but, we're going to get some new belts soon.
So, of those belts, which one would you say is the best one?
Of the
new ones.
Oh, man, of the new ones, I got to roll with Seth Rollins, the World Heavyweight Championship.
Okay.
It's just such a throwback of the old school with a little modern day twist. So I gotta admit that that's the belt that I like the most. What about you? What belt do you prefer out of all of them that have been newly introduced?
I'm pretty much on the same page as you. Definitely because it's like you said, brings back some memories and everything like that. So I would definitely go with the Seth Rollins title. Yes.
Okay. I'm right there with you in lockstep. But let's go ahead and start this SmackDown review here. The SmackDown aired on June 16th, 2023 from the University of Kentucky. Location breakdown brought to us by none other than DJ Kuzmo.
Shout out.
And this show started with over 20 minutes of straight wrestling. A gauntlet match. We got this match teased to us last week. Whenever backstage, they were all running up on Kevin Owens, and eventually he freaked out like he typically has been doing here lately. And we get the gauntlet match that was announced, so it comes to fruition tonight. And let's see, Street Profits started off with the Brawling Brutes. Sheamus gives Dawkins a bro kick to survive in advance. The Good Brothers come out next. Anderson gets eliminated, courtesy of another Sheamus brogue. LWO is the next team in the gauntlet, but they don't last very long. This time it's Ridge Holland who takes care of business for the Brutes. Ridge doesn't get to rest very long because about 5 seconds later, he's pinning Top Dollar, and Hit Row is eliminated in the Flash. Just like that. Pretty Deadly is the final team remaining, and they're the last ones who stand in the way of the Brutes from running through the entire gauntlet, just running the table. But Pretty Deadly steals this win because of I didn't see you tag, so I thought you're the legal man. You're not the legal man. I'm trying to pin you, put myself in a position to get a leg drop off the top rope, which I'm not really familiar with this team at all, but that was a nice finishing move, way to close out this gauntlet match and get the upset win here. Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn come out and pretty much just call them out for staying in the ring 5 minutes after their win, saying, what the hell's wrong with you? You're pretty much wasting people's time. You're overstaying your welcome. And then Kevin Owens obviously freaks out, and they run to the ring ready to fight, but the new number one contenders make a run for it, successfully evade a pissed-off Kevin Owens. But what'd you think about this? Obviously, you don't really have to talk much about the Gauntlet unless there's something that really stands out to you. I mean, the 30 beats of the baton from Sheamus was nice. I'm Pretty Deadly. That's really the only thing that really stands out from this match, I feel like, or from this first Gauntlet. Sheamus pretty much just ensured his dominance in this entire thing. So what do you think about Pretty Deadly stealing the win, getting the upset win, and then obviously their yes boy whole little even more. They're just them on the mic after this whole segment took place.
Well, man, the Gauntlet, I mean, it was definitely a worthy, what would you say, like 25 minutes, I believe?
Yeah,
something
damn
like
near
that.
25, 30 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, it was a pretty good match and everything like that. I mean, Ridge, I mean, he's still impressing me. I've said this before, definitely riding with him. What they call him? Ridge the Fridge.
Yeah, something like
Starting
that.
to stick to me, I guess you could say. But other than that, man, Pretty Deadly, whenever they came in at the end, I mean, you kind of figured, And I don't know, man. I guess you could say they work together, the whole little gimmick that they have. I mean, it seems like they're, what would you say, getting some good
momentum or pushed.
I don't even, not even push. I don't even know if it's like people are getting behind them because you hear the crowd cheering and everything, So I mean, I really don't know what to say about it, but the whole interaction between Sami Zayn whenever he was talking about like the 5 minutes and everything like that, just watching and seeing the facial expressions at him and Kevin Owens, that was like the best part of it to me, I guess you could say. But I mean, I think they're pretty good. Or Pretty Deadly is pretty good on the mic too. I mean, I don't even know the blonde guy, Prince, I believe.
Yeah, Prince is the blonde one, and there's I can't remember the other one's name, so that's on me.
Yeah, I was supposed to look it up too. I got kind of distracted with the whole show and everything. But yeah, man, I mean, they seem like they're doing all right, getting some good push, like you're saying.
Yep, for sure, they really do. Next, we get a little backstage interaction with the Bloodline, which is Paul Heyman and Solo Sikoa. Obviously, Roman says that while he's still the tribal chief, Jay should be the one reaching out to him. Like, why the hell am I reaching out to Jay, trying to get a hold of Jay, asking where Jay is, all that. Like, he's tired of that. Roman is pretty much he's getting fed up with all that nonsense. And, you pointed it out earlier, Roman Reigns with 3 belts. They actually are going to keep those 2 belts around. Like, what the?
I mean, it looks good. I mean, just having it in a little background, how they have it, I mean, I don't know.
I mean, it's just a little like, what the hell are we doing here? But I'm going to go with it. As long as he doesn't come out with them and actually try to hold them up.
Yeah, see, that'd be a different story right there. If he was holding all 3, I mean, Kevin Owens, the way he holds his, the tag teams, like he's like a waiter or something with, a napkin.
Yeah, that is a little strange.
That one made me fun, or laugh whenever he was running to the ring with them like that too. I was just like, oh yeah. But other than that, man, yeah, I don't know. Hopefully, they do away, or I wouldn't say do away with it, but if he's holding all 3, it's definitely gonna be something.
The next match we get here is Io Sky versus Zelina Vega. Bayley tried to interfere here a little bit and distract Zelina. Enough for Io to steal the win, but Zelina kicked out of Io's pin. And then Io, for some reason, decided to go bicker at Bayley and pretty much put herself in perfect position to get hit with a 619. And Zelina gets the win. I actually really like how Zelina positioned herself to get this 619 because you always see it only happens in Rey Mysterio matches. Like, people just so happen to fall and sit on the second rope, but they never do that against anybody else, only against Rey Mysterio. How convenient for him to hit the 619. Io Sky was just standing there kind of bickering at Bayley, and Zelina goes and hits it while she's just standing there. So I thought it was kind of cool. It was a new way to see it delivered or I guess a new way to see it received if you're the person who it's getting done to. I just thought it was pretty cool, I guess, the way that she did it, because it provides a little more, I guess, logic behind it, and it's not as predictable. I didn't know it was about to happen, and she went and hit it. I was like, oh, man, that was nice. One of the better 619s I've seen in quite a long time. But I do feel like Io is probably the favorite here, so this is a little bit of a surprising win for Zelina, in my opinion.
I don't know, man. I was kind of on the other side of this, like hoping, Zelina Vega gets her little momentum going and everything like that, especially going into Money in the Bank and everything. So I think that's kind of a good little. I mean, it didn't seem like it was much, but then again, the way that you were saying that she executed that, I mean, she's definitely. It seems like she's putting in some work to kind of get that move down, I guess you could say. But other than that, man, I was kind of happy that happened, or she got that dub there, and you never know.
Yep.
They'll rub your hands together for this little drama.
Backstage, we get Bianca Belair approaching Adam Pearce about the rematch, the infamous rematch that she was promised, and obviously the complications that were added by Charlotte Flair made that a little bit harder than what it should be. But he does promise that it's being discussed. He just can't give her an answer tonight. Bianca says, okay, but since the quote-unquote right way isn't working, she's doing it her way from now on. She made that very clear that she's doing it her way. I don't necessarily know how you feel about that, but I guess we can move on because we do get a little bit more Bianca a little bit later. We get another backstage segment. Io Sky is screaming at Bayley to stop getting involved. I like that. I thought that was pretty funny. Bayley just pretty much saying that, hey, we're going to be on, our separate team, so I'm just trying to make sure that we're doing the best we can right now, yada, yada, yada. Shotzi comes up and tries to start some beef with Bayley. Tells her to put her spot in the Money in the Bank ladder match on the line. And you could tell Bayley doesn't want to, but Io actually accepts on her behalf and then looks at Bayley and has that little smart ass, I'm just trying to help. That Bayley keeps saying when she costs her match after match. So you have to think that's pretty funny that we're starting to get a nice Io Sky, Dave Bautista babyface turn.
Okay, I mean, I'm okay with like the whole situation, like I was saying, the little drama that it's creating, from that little loss and everything. So, yeah, they're definitely they got me hooked right here because like Io Sky, she's starting to come out to her own music now, and it just feels a little bit better than hearing her come out to the Damage Control song because it didn't feel like she had that little vibe to it, that she does, that little walk and everything like that. So, yeah, man, this whole situation that they got going, Shotzi coming in there, setting up a little challenge and everything like that. She looked pretty good. But other than that, man, yeah, I'm hooked with this little direction of this little situation.
Yeah, I am too. I've been saying it that, Io Sky, this just has my attention. It's just one of those things that has me interested for sure every time I see Io Sky and Bayley on my television screen. Up next, we get the Grayson Waller effect, Charlotte Flair being the special guest. Grayson tries to kiss up a little bit by referencing her breaking Asuka's undefeated streak at WrestleMania a few years back, but also points out that this is not the same Asuka that she's faced in the past. Charlotte pretty much just reminds him that she has Asuka's number multiple occasions. She's gotten the better of her. And then immediately Bianca Belair comes out. She tries to, be respectful and just say, hey, look, with all due respect, like what the hell's going on? Like, am I tripping? I pretty much lost my match, got a rematch promise that never came to fruition, yet here you come, you call your own shot, you get a championship match just handed to you, you jump the line, what the hell's going on here? Charlotte reminds her, I am the line, the line starts and ends with me. But it's the quotes after this little back and forth that really got me, because Charlotte reminds her, I'm a champion with or without the title, I'm a 14-time champion. She just pretty much has to remind her of her prestige as if we're going to forget or something like that. Bianca, she doesn't back down, though. She immediately says, I'm the longest reigning women's champion of the modern era, so put some respect on my name. And it didn't take me 14 times to do it. That was some, I just had to take a second because that right there is some elite mic work. She's not wrong. Valid points. It's pretty much, if you want to compare it, it's pretty much like Patrick Mahomes arguing with Tom Brady, in a sense. Like, I got 6 championships. I'm the GOAT. I'm a champion with or without the Lombardi Trophy. Mahomes pretty much saying like, hey, not only have I been kicking your ass, but I'm a 2-time champion, including the defending Super Bowl champion. So put some respect on my name. It's not a apples to apples comparison by any means, but it's just a little bit of a sense of like Bianca has an argument here. Mm-hmm. Like, not only did she win this little interaction here, she won this little promo that they had back and forth, because she also ends it by saying the past is the past. The future is that this title is coming back to me. Great stuff. I have to admit, you heard me whenever we watched this. I was pretty much just like, dude, great stuff. I do feel like this is damn near, just in terms of like those couple lines that she got out, damn near on the level of like some of the stuff that we were getting like with Edge here in like the pandemic era, whenever he was cutting his promos, just video package. Or dare I say, as good as late John Cena, some recent John Cena on the mic. I don't know. I just felt like seeing Bianca and what she's evolved to deserves some high praise at the very least. So I'll stand by it, and I'll say that, obviously Bianca won that, but man, she blew me away from anything that I've seen her do in the past.
Oh yeah, man, she definitely did her thing. I don't know where she came, the energy right there, or where she pulled it out of, but yeah, she definitely felt like she was definitely like giving Charlotte her peace of mind, I guess you could say. And I don't know, man. I mean, is she turning heel?
Bianca?
Yeah.
Yes, I think so. This is slowly.
I mean, I can feel it the way that she's delivering. I mean, I like it. I mean, I've been waiting for this, I guess you could say, because the little pushover, nice little girl thing that she was doing, it kind of got stale. But I don't know, man. I mean, the way that this is all getting set up, Charlotte, Bianca, Asuka, I mean, I think it's just going to be a good program.
I agree with you. Let's go ahead and move on here. Paul Heyman approaches Jey Uso backstage and says, I'm sorry for multiple things. But he's pretty much just backhandedly saying he's sorry. I'm sorry that Jimmy Uso is an idiot. I'm sorry he doesn't respect you and wants to humiliate you and his twin brother on national television. Mm-hmm. Heyman says he's sorry again, and Jey quickly apologizes too. He says, I'm sorry that it's still, if I'm in, you're out.
Yeah.
And we all know what he's talking about there. And that does kind of, play back into here in just a little bit. We touch back on that a little bit. We get a mixed tag match here. Karrion Kross and Scarlett versus AJ and Mia Yim. I was really looking forward to this match for one reason only. Scarlett. I'm going to be honest, yes. I was looking forward to Scarlett, seeing her in action in the ring. Really didn't get a whole lot of her versus Mia. Match really didn't last very long at all. I was kind of disappointed in that. Karrion Kross pretty much squashes AJ Styles. I don't really know if he got distracted or what. That's how quick it was that, he got... I don't know what the move is that he got put on. He finished him off, though. Nice move. I knew it was over once he hit. I was like, oh, that's a quick one right there. And yeah, Kross gets the win. Another card successfully in his bag.
Well, I mean, this one was kind of a blur to me. I mean, I felt like I was in the middle of like talking and everything this whole time, so it was kind of
this one was going on while we were breaking down a segment. Yeah,
more of just seeing like pieces here and there, I guess you could say. I don't know, but other than that, man, I mean, of course, Scarlett coming out looks good. The way that AJ and Mia Yim came out, I mean, I liked how they kind of flipped the hood at almost the same time, threw up their hands when the little pyro popped and everything. So it feels like they've been putting some work in together, entrance-wise, I guess you could say.
Probably some live events or something.
Yeah, but other than that, man, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I can't really put who I wanted to win here. I mean, of course, we know Karrion Kross, his TikTok thing, time was coming. But like you said, I mean, he put him down, so who we got next coming up?
Yep, and quickly getting back to the Bloodline stuff backstage, I thought this was going to be a weird segment where there wasn't many words that were said. And there really wasn't, if you think about it. But Roman Reigns is sitting there, just kind of by himself. Paul Heyman walks up. Nothing is really said for a little bit. And then Roman just says, well, with a question. And Paul Heyman just kind of shakes his head no. And that kind of pisses everyone in the room off, you could say, because Solo kind of approaches Paul, and then, Paul kind of scaredly walks away. And then asks Roman after Paul walks away, he says, hey, do I need to handle this, my tribal chief? Roman just assures him that they still have some time, which I thought was kind of strange. Tell me if I'm wrong here. Of course, you can touch on the whole Roman Reigns, Paul Heyman, whatever the segment meant to you, but I got a question. Is Roman Reigns, is he giving off Scar vibes from Lion King?
Dude, I swear I was thinking about this earlier today when we was working. I don't know why. I mean, my head was just kind of just
It's a wild thought for both of us to have on the same day, by the way.
It was just, yeah, for you to bring that up and just kind of, I was just like, because I was in the backyard, doing a little walk around thing, and I was kind of listening to some podcasts on wrestling or WWE, But other than that, man, I was just like, why does this feel like this? Like, eventually, little Simba's going to come up, end up being the king, I guess you could say. So, yeah, I mean, that definitely was how I was kind of picturing it at that time, So, yeah, it's kind of crazy that you actually mentioned that.
Giving me major Scar vibes. I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, really quickly, screw Scar. Just actual Scar. He's lucky I don't. Oh, man, he's a lion. He'd obviously, claw me to pieces, but just one of those things. I'm like, man, you're lucky this is a PG show because I got some words for you.
Right.
I got some thoughts on Scar, all right? He's one of the biggest dirt bags that I've ever, come across in my entire life. We'll touch on that on a later day. But, yeah, I just wanted to point that out.
Yeah, that's kind of wild, though, honestly. But, I mean, just to kind of go into that little thing, the whole, conversation between Paul and Roman, and then whenever Paul gets up to leave, whenever Solo goes for him, he does that little ooh type thing.
Yeah.
That made me laugh right there, dude.
That was funny.
That was funny, yeah. So I guess you could say he's definitely playing his part on that little scared side.
Yeah, Roman's gonna have a very good opportunity to turn on Heyman. We'll see.
Dude.
I don't know if that'll be wise to turn on the wise man.
Yeah.
We'll see though. We'll see what happens. Up next, Cameron Grimes. He gets attacked by Baron Corbin backstage during a Kayla Braxton interview. Oh, man. We'll talk about what we just saw here in a little bit. We're almost caught up. We're literally on the segment right before this. But Cameron Grimes gets attacked backstage, so Corbin gets one up on him after, the embarrassment. I think he did the same thing to Corbin again, maybe on another occasion. But what do you think about this whole Baron Corbin and Cameron Grimes situation?
Well, I think it's a good little program right there. I mean, it definitely feels like Corbin has some, what would you say, is some, I wouldn't even say heat, but the way that he's going to NXT, kind of being the top guy over there, and then he's coming back over here and at least trying to get something going, get back on his game, I guess you could say. So, I mean, this Corbin that we got right here, I mean, I don't even know what to call him besides his name, but the little gimmick or whatever he got going, I'm okay with it. He's coming in. I wouldn't say taking care of any big names, but definitely coming after Cameron Grimes and doing his thing, I guess you could say.
Yeah, I agree with you for sure. Up next in the show, Rey Mysterio comes out and introduces Santos Escobar for his match against LA Knight. But before Santos comes out, Rey talks about accomplishments, and one of his proudest being that he reformed the LWO. Santos Escobar, obviously, one of the main representatives of the LWO. And Santos comes out and thanks Rey Mysterio and, has this, really sweet moment that's ultimately interrupted by LA Knight's entrance. And he comes out. The match goes on. There's a commercial break during it. Not really that fast-paced of a match. Kind of just a little bit of a time filler style match. And Knight tries to grab the ropes and cheat to win, but Escobar flips the pinfall and steals it. Then, of course, LA Knight does the heel move by attacking Santos after the match and beats him until Rey comes to the rescue. Got one quick question for you before you talk about the segment.
Yeah.
Whose game is it?
LA Knight. Yeah.
All right, there we go. Had to make sure that we were on the same page there. But
you got me the first time.
Yeah, all right. Now you're good. I won't get you again. But yeah, so what do you think about it? What do you think about LA Knight losing this match? Not necessarily a decisive loss that's going to hurt him. I mean, it was pretty much a roll up while he was trying to steal the win. Mm-hmm. But what do you think about LA Knight losing more so than Santos winning?
Man, just LA Knight. I mean, I kind of feel like he's in that same little situation where Seth Rollins was, where he was just losing, but it wasn't affecting him.
Right.
So, yep. I mean, that's where I kind of feel as if that's where he's sitting at this point in time. But I mean, I would like to see him start getting back on that winning track. You know, I know he had that little situation with Rick Boogs and everything, but I don't know, man. I just feel like it's not putting a damper on him, but or to WWE, but it's putting a damper on him to me as a viewer, I guess you could say. You know, so I don't know, man. Other than that, I mean, I feel like he still brings his pop and everything like that. Of course, people say the yeah and everything like that. So I still feel like everybody's still behind him. But yeah, it's just getting a little dragged out for me, I guess you could say.
No doubt.
Santos on the other side, I mean, I think he deserves it, you know, definitely going into Money in the Bank and everything.
Yep, up next, will Jey Uso fall in line? We're officially up to speed on the show. We'll catch you up on what happens here in just a moment. Okay, emotions are obviously still rolling here with that closing segment. Will Jey Uso fall in line? That's what it was titled. That's what it was promoted and advertised as. Teased throughout the show. So Jay's walking to the ring. He's backstage still. And we get a quick little silent interaction between him and Sami Zayn. I told you I like this. Just no words were said. Sami obviously plays a big role in the story. And because that interaction, there was no, you can do this, come on, like blah, blah, blah. It was just silent, eye contact, almost like nothing else needs to be said. You know what to do. Hardcore foreshadowing just for what's to come. Like looking back on it, I remember thinking in the moment, I was like, man, that was big. They did that for a reason. And I kind of got on my toes. I kind of thought, okay, maybe this is going to be a little bit bigger than just the typical will Jey Uso fall in line. After about a 7-minute Roman Reigns entrance, he tells Lex in Kentucky a little bit of a deeper location breakdown. DJ Kuzmo, obviously, he was a little bit ahead of us in the stream because of the Fire Stick situation. Nonetheless, he broke the news to us before we actually heard Roman Reigns say it. But as soon as he tells the city to acknowledge him, Jay comes out.
I thought that was perfect timing.
Perfect.
Just in a weird way.
Yeah, production. Mm-hmm. Roman gets right to the point, says the crowd wants answers. Are you in or are you out? Jay says, you tell me. And then pretty much just says, hey, it's him or me, referring to Paul Heyman. Mm-hmm. And that's when Roman tries to pretty much simmer it down a little bit and basically provide some clarity to Jay as to where he is right now, saying, hey, when you're the tribal chief in the future, you can pick your wise man. But Paul Heyman, that's my wise man. That's not the bloodline's wise man. He's not our family's wise man. He's my wise man. He looks out for me in the best interest of me. So he pretty much says, like, we've been, planning this for a long time. Like Paul Heyman saying, we're grooming you right now to be the tribal chief. Hell, we've been grooming you for 3 years. Roman points out that it was his job to get us to the mountaintop, talking about his family. It was his job to get them to the mountaintop. But it's Jey Uso's and their family's job to keep them there, to keep the prestige there and keep them, on top of the game. And he says that, Jey Uso was chosen to be the right-hand man for a reason. Jimmy obviously comes out, tries to, tell Jay that Roman's lying. He's blowing smoke up his ass. Don't believe him. And that's whenever Roman breaks the news that there was only one person who was not for making Jey Uso main event Jay. It was not Paul Heyman. Paul Heyman's actually the one who suggested it, according to Roman. But the one person who was against it was Jimmy Uso. So I thought that was strange. That Jimmy Uso was, the one that maybe was not all aboard the Jey Uso main event train. And that's when Jay calls him out. He says, hey, what the hell's the deal here? Is this really true? Like this whole time, our whole life, I've been chasing you. You're the prom king. We're going to clarify that. The prom king. And, it pretty much says, like, you're the, most athletic, MVP on the team, most likely to succeed. I've been having to live in your shadow. And you got hurt. I stepped up, and I was main eventing SmackDowns, pay-per-views, all this good stuff because of him. And he points to Roman Reigns, and he says, I'm sorry, bud. You're out. The crowd, I was hooked. They got me. And all of a sudden, but so am I. Super kick to Roman Reigns' face, and I had a loud outburst. I don't even know what it was, but I could not keep it in. It shocked me. It got me. You know, like I probably did say a curse word. It was a massive moment in the Bloodline story. The fact that Sami Zayn was part of this in a way, just a little hint of Sami was done right. Brilliantly booked. The way they put together this segment, man, I can't wait for the 30 for 30 on the Bloodline. And we're not even done yet, but man, it's getting so good. This was a massive moment because after the one super kick, as Roman gets up, completely shocked, he gets a double super kick from both Usos after they hit Solo Sikoa with a double super kick. The mic is yours. What happened here? What are your thoughts?
Well, I mean, okay, starting of this, okay, I was expecting a little bit of something. Jimmy coming out here, having something to do with like a whole altercation and everything like that, of course. But I was thrown for a twist whenever Jay started, talking to Jay or Jimmy about like how you were saying about him being the person that he was trying to catch up to and stuff like that. And, you just see it in the facial expressions. Jay, he was actually feeling that. Jimmy, he was feeling what he was saying, So, like, there was a good connection there that made it just more of a believable situation, So the whole I'm out or you're out, pause, I'm out, that was a freaking...
The pause.
Yeah.
A lot was going on in that pause.
Yeah, I was, definitely blown for my mind, I guess you could say. I'll probably right there, same word that you said, but yeah, man, this is some good work right here. I mean, of course, Jimmy, Jay, they got their own little destination route, I guess you could say, that they're going to be going now, and I don't know, man. Hopefully Solo can kind of... I'm hoping he makes his switch over back to the brothers side.
It's too late, man. We don't want him.
Hey, I think it's just going to be one of those times that Solo's going to be the person that's the one
Solo sticking by Roman. Though the super kick, the Bloodline is those three: Paul, Roman, and Solo.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
Because without Solo, there's no Bloodline, and they can't market it no more. It's no longer a faction. With Solo still there, you can quote unquote make it the Bloodline still. So
okay, so if we want to go to like the Lion King things, okay, the little hyenas, right?
Yeah.
At the end of that,
Hate those little.
they turn on who?
Scar.
And I think that's kind of like that same little trick. I'm telling you, dude, I was thinking about this same thing earlier today, and like you said, whenever you brought that up, it was just like a wow, type stuff. But other than that, man, that's how I'm kind of seeing this picture. Solo's going to end up turning on Roman sometime soon, I guess you could say.
Could very well happen. I gotta let this marinate, man. I have to let this segment process because it was shocking to say the least. Some people might have saw it coming. I didn't. That super kick was like Sami hitting Roman with the chair at the Royal Rumble,
dude.
when we literally came out of our seats in the Alamo Dome.
Hell yeah.
So, do want to thank you guys. Obviously, that does come to the conclusion of this edition of the SmackDown Review. We want to thank everyone who made this show part of your weekly routine. Hopefully, you will continue to do that. Follow John on social media. Follow me or whatever if you want. Go check out the Football Function. Obviously, we're putting out some good stuff. Got some new weekly shows that are making appearances, so you might want to check that out. Just a little word of advice. So yeah, anything you got, John, on the plug-in side?
Well, of course, I mean, definitely want to give a shout out, Patreon members, Discord members. I did turn on my notifications. Man, I totally forgot because remember we had turned them off, so we didn't have no spoilers. So I've been going for at least a good 2 months, I guess you could say, without any notifications on Discord. So now that I turned it on, I'm definitely seeing everybody talking and everything like that, and it kind of just brought me back into the
fold.
The whole, yeah. So I guess getting a little caught up with everybody that's in there and stuff like that. So that's a good thing. But other than that, man, of course, definitely want to give you a shout out, Football Function and everything like that, doing your thing. And of course, man, just Father's Day coming up.
Great.
Fathers out there. Hope y'all enjoy y'all's weekend and everything like that. And of course, go out there with the bang, I guess.
Yep, definitely. Happy Father's Day, John being one. Happy Father's Day to you, bud.
Thank you.
And also, do something nice over the weekend. Mow somebody's yard.
I need to mow mine.
You do need to mow
Dude,
yours. I saw it.
I come home from working, and I'm just kind of like.
It's the last thing you want to do.
And it's already tall, so I'm gonna have to go over.
Do you have the mower and
yes,
stuff? Okay,
yes, I got all that. I mean, I
just do it like tomorrow. We're gonna have a little bit of a half day.
Yeah.
Come home, pretend you got one more property to do.
Yep.
and you could do it yourself.
Because I definitely need it for next weekend.
Yeah.
Jaren's birthday.
Okay.
Yeah.
For sure. But somebody who could use it, somebody that can't mow their own yard, who they don't have to pay somebody to do it. Surprise them. Do a nice little kind gesture. Pay it forward.
Oh yeah.
And take care of that for them. But nonetheless, hope you guys all have a phenomenal weekend. Happy Father's Day one more time. Walk passionately in the direction of your dreams, and we will talk to you soon.
Thanks for listening to the WWE Podcast. Don't forget to subscribe on your favorite podcast app so you don't miss a show, or head to WWEpodcast.com. And for all of these shows ad-free, head over to patreon.com/WWE Podcast. Until then, we'll see you next time.